This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, leading the league in podcasting entertainment.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. This is the Fast Break Podcast. I am Sean Anderson. Alongside me, as always, is Ricky Widmer.
What's up, guys?
And Dave is currently helping his brother and sister move. So he is not going to be joining us because this is a special edition. LeBron James is now a Los Angeles Laker. If you're watching on YouTube, you can probably tell because I made the bet that if LeBron signed with the Lakers, I'd be painting my face in purple and gold. And I may be an idiot.
Not purple and gold.
And my face may be drying and I'll be losing all expression.
Not purple and gold, purple and gold because they don't have PG.
Purple and gold.
But purple and old.
Yeah, purple and old. But I have my face in purple and old. I made the bet, and I'm going to live up to it. And for this segment, talking about LeBron James signing with the Lakers, we're going to welcome in patron Jake. Jake, welcome to the show. We know you're a little bit worried as a Sixers fan. Not worried, but a little bit sad as a Sixers fan since you got the last meeting. How you feeling as a Sixers fan? The only meeting.
I mean, I look at it two ways. I'm kind of still in shock. I honestly did not think. I thought he could go to the Lakers. Signing a 4-year deal with the Lakers, I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought wherever he went, it was going to be probably a one-on-one deal. But I mean, this leaves the East wide open, not wide open to the Celtics and Sixers, basically. Mm-hmm. And the West is going to be a doghouse next year. I don't know. I mean, your Nuggets. I know you were going to become a fan if LeBron's not there.
Yeah,
they're going to have a tough time getting the playoffs now. I don't know. I was looking at the West earlier. There is probably 3 teams I would say can't make the playoffs in the West.
Yeah, I looking at it, it's the Kings, Suns, and maybe you could probably throw the Mavericks in there as well. Mm-hmm. But even then, I mean, if they get,
I think the Mavericks can make it.
Yeah, they signed.
I was saying the Clippers.
DeAndre Jordan, Clippers maybe. Yeah, I mean, it's a team, and Grizzlies if they're not healthy. I mean, it's a bloodbath out in the West, and like you mentioned, the West is really 2 teams right now, and I'm in the same boat as Jake. Maybe it's not the fact that he signed with the Lakers, Ricky, but it's just the fact that it happened right now. I was at a family party, just got home from a family wedding, and I got it, and I was like, holy shit, LeBron signed for a 4-year, $154 million deal. Are you in shock as well?
I'm not in shock. It's just one of those things where I was going through this process where, like Jake, you saw I said it on Twitter today because you were kind of in that discussion of I didn't care where he went. Could have went to LA, could have went to Philly, could have went to Golden State. Just don't go back to Cleveland. Anything besides Cleveland, I was okay with.
But here's one thing is that looking at this Laker roster as is right now, they just re-signed KCP. Looking at this roster now, which roster was better for LeBron? Cleveland with LeBron or LA with LeBron? I'm going to go to Jake first. Which team do you think right now, because obviously LA can still make some moves, which team right now do you think is best for LeBron to actually win a championship? Not take conference out, but just at least teams.
Teams to win a championship. I don't think either team can. Like as the roster now, I don't think either team can win a championship.
Well, are we saying next year?
No. Which team just gave him the best chance?
Okay.
Not saying win a championship, but best chance to win a championship.
I mean, the Lakers team is deeper, I would say, and they don't have J.R. Smith and Jordan Clarkson, which is a big plus. Mm-hmm. But I think Brandon Ingram's a great player. I think Kyle Kuzma's a great player. But the one thing that's really concerning me, and I don't think Lonzo Ball is going to start the year as a Laker because I don't think that him and LeBron can play together. I think LeBron, like always, I said it in the podcast even a couple months ago, he needs shooters around him. Lonzo Ball can't shoot. He can't shoot the basketball. And if LeBron is going to keep playing on ball like we think he is, I don't see it. And he can't play defense, Lonzo. So, I mean, I just don't.
Well, no, Lonzo was one of the best rookie defenders last year as a guard.
Yeah, rookie defenders. I still don't think that proves much, especially when you're going up against Steph Curry and Klay Thompson.
Defensive metrics, he was one of the best defenders actually in the league, I think.
I want to see him play in the playoffs against Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, see how good he is.
That's fair.
Covington was the first team all defense in the regular season.
And I'm on the complete other side. Like the Lonzo Ball thing where you're like, oh, we need shooters. Aren't we expecting LeBron James to play more off ball? Like that was the big thing with the Sixers.
I mean,
the Sixers, he's going to come here because he wants to play more off ball, and Ben Simmons is there, and he's going to be the ball handler.
But are you going to put your trust into? Again, Ben Simmons is a little bit different because I know technically he was a rookie, but I mean he was a guy that was a little bit long.
I think either player, it's the same thing, Lonzo or Ben Simmons, because they are younger than LeBron. And I think like Ben Simmons 1 year older than Lonzo.
But who is a more competent player?
LeBron's going to be the mentor to it. Yeah, the 76ers would be like if he joined the 76ers, Sixers and Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. Sixers might be going to the NBA Finals with LeBron. But for me, Cavs or Lakers, it's the Cavaliers. Because like you said, well, the Lakers can make some moves. Yeah, some moves are better than zero moves. The Cavaliers can make nothing because they're capped out. No one's going to want George Hill. No one's going to want J.R. Smith. So LeBron, it's go back to the roster that lost me in the finals and I got swept, or go to Los Angeles, and now it becomes the better thing for LeBron of, you know what, I'm coming by myself. Can I recruit players to come here? Because in 2010, he had his guys. They decided that 2 years ago, Wade and Bosh, that we're going to play together. 2014, it was, I'm coming home, a very emotional decision. This one's going to be, hey, I'm going to change it now, and then next offseason, I'm going to recruit players.
And we haven't really seen him recruit players, really, because like you said, it was a combined decision between Wade, Bosh, and LeBron, and then in 2014, Kyrie was already there, and then they went out and traded for K. Love. So we haven't seen him really be LeBron the recruiter. But even then, I mean, there's still that option of trading for Kawhi. Let's talk about this before we get into what this team will do with LeBron James, this Lakers team will do. Jake, if you are the Lakers, do you give up Brandon Ingram, possibly Julius Randle if you're able to, still sign and trade him, Kuzma, and get Kawhi now, or do you just wait until he's a free agent and keep those young assets?
See, that's where it gets tricky for me. Because I think the rough part is the salary cap. Because I don't know if the Spurs would have to take on Luol Deng to be able for the Lakers to get Kawhi. I'm not sure how that all works.
They can always bring in a third team as well.
Yeah, that as well. I think as of now, if they give up Lonzo and Kyle Kuzma, because I think that's what it would take to get Kawhi, I think that would be a good deal. But if they have to offload Luol Deng contract to the Spurs, I would believe they'd have to give up Brandon Ingram. That would just be my assumption. But I think, I'd go and get him, honestly. I think you never know when Steph Curry's going to hurt his ankle again. You never know when somebody's going to get hurt on the Warriors. So I think you take advantage. Yeah, I think, that would be a crazy series with the Lakers and the Rockets. That would be great. I mean, Chris Paul is going to get hurt. That's basically guaranteed.
No, it is.
Give him $40 million. The sun's going to rise. Chris Paul is going to get hurt in the playoffs. That's basically how it goes. I think, if to answer your question, I think they go and they get him because you never know when somebody's going to get hurt. You never know when the opportunity is going to arise. You just kind of take advantage.
Ricky, what are your thoughts? Do you give up those young assets?
I don't.
Wait.
And the reason why is Jake said it. The worst news this is for is not Jake and the Sixers. It's the Spurs. Like, if I'm a Spurs fan, I'm going, great. Now we can't, we lost our bargaining chip. Because, for me, the big thing is what the Celtics or, the Sixers could have done was if LeBron didn't go to L.A., hey, let's trade for Kawhi, and then basically, I was thinking the Celtics, let's trade for Kawhi and do the same thing that the Thunder did. Have a year-long season, show him the system we have, the competent coach we have, the culture we have, make him want to stay and not even want to have a meeting with the Lakers. Now that LeBron's out there, if I'm Kawhi Leonard, I'm going to LA one way or another. You can trade me or you can lose me for nothing.
That's the one thing is I think it's great for the Lakers that LeBron James is here, without a doubt. And I know we talked about this before back on Thursday we recorded the podcast, last podcast. We said that, if Kawhi goes to LA, then it's a for sure certain that LeBron is going. Well, now LeBron's already there.
I think it's vice versa too.
But now LeBron's already there. So that discussion's moot, and it's pretty much all Kawhi needs to do is say, I will only re-sign with the Lakers, and if you trade for me, I am going to sign with the Lakers, and then that will guarantee that he goes to the place that he wants. So he is now in the driver's seat. The Spurs are screwed, and the Lakers, I think it's good and bad for them just because, again, you're getting the best player in the NBA right now, LeBron James, and you are in a great position to get Kawhi Leonard. I think the only bad thing is now you have these young assets and what to do with them. Do you trade right now for Kawhi Leonard and give up the possibility of Brandon Ingram, who's still 20, 21 years old and shows the potential of being a 25-5 guy? Do you give up the potential of Lonzo Ball, a guy that you were extremely high on last year? Kyle Kuzma, who was a great rookie scorer. Do you give up the potential of those kids? And also, you're rushing the timeline of these kids because now you added LeBron James, and the expectation is that LeBron is going to go to the finals. It's been happening for 8 straight years. The expectation is that LeBron is going to bring championships to Los Angeles. And I think that was the biggest thing for me on why I didn't think LeBron was going to go there, because I think the expectations were too high, because now he's fighting for legacy not only in the NBA as a whole, but now a legacy as a Laker. You're going up against Shaq, Kobe, Magic, Kareem, Wilt, etc. I'm missing a ton, but there's Jerry West as well, Elgin Baylor. I mean, you're going up against legends out here. You need to win championships to become a legend in LA. He's already a legend in the NBA, but again, you're even saying that he doesn't have the chance to become the GOAT before the podcast. No. So, I mean, again, he's hurting his legacy in the NBA, and he's hurting his legacy as a Laker. I think that was a bad move, and especially going out west where it is a bloodbath. So I think it's good because you're getting LeBron James. I don't need to analyze that. LeBron James is a good player. You got him.
Well,
congrats.
Another thing I don't think this went into the decision, but for me personally, if I'm going to lose to the Warriors, what's going to affect my legacy more? Losing to them in the finals or losing to them in the Western Conference Finals or the second round? If I lose to the Warriors in the second round, nobody cares. If I lose to them in the finals year after year after year, then people start pairing that with my legacy.
And well, a loss is a loss no matter what. Yeah, I mean, if you're losing in the Western Conference Finals.
Like we even have Mark who, no matter what the sport, he's a guy that believes, like with, I'll say the Bears, where he goes, if I go to the Super Bowl, I want to win because I don't want to have that loss in the Super Bowl. He's like, I would rather lose in the championship game than lose in the Super Bowl.
As a Patriots fan, though, I'm on the other side because I've gone to Super Bowls. We've won them, we lost them. I would rather be in the Super Bowl and be in that game because that means we're one of the two best teams in the NFL. Jake, I want to bring you in and talk about, did LeBron make a mistake? Because there's a lot of unanswered question marks with the Lakers. I thought this was a bad move for him. Before it, obviously, we're gonna have to wait and see. I'm not gonna say this is a bad move because we don't know what's gonna happen, who they're gonna bring in.
Sean's gonna stop betting against LeBron.
Yeah, well, but again, I gotta be fair. I mean, ball hasn't tipped yet for the 2018-2019 season. Exactly. We don't know what this team's gonna look like. But at least right now, do you feel like he made a mistake? Do you feel like he should have stayed in Cleveland, or do you feel like he should have taken a shot in Philly?
Obviously, I think he should have came to Philly. I think Philly with Ben Simmons, Markelle Fultz, Kawhi, LeBron, Joel could have. If you let that team develop for a year or two, I think that could have done wonders. But the thing is, with LeBron going to the Lakers, I don't see. Oh, also, I want to say the reason they should go get Kawhi now, and I didn't say this before.
This is for the Lakers.
He's saying right now he wants to go to the Lakers. We heard that last year from a guy named Paul George. And that he got traded to somebody who wasn't the Lakers, enjoyed his time there, and said, you know what? It's not so bad here. I'm going to stay here. So if Kawhi gets traded to somewhere like Philly or Boston, they make the conference finals, they make the finals, they lose, whatever, he goes, you know what? It's not that bad here. I'm not in LA. I don't have the spotlight like I would in the Lakers. I'm just going to re-sign here and stay here.
The only thing is they didn't have LeBron James last year. Now they do. You have the best player in the world.
But Paul George also just signed back when he could have waited a couple of days and saw LeBron went there.
He's just comparing LeBron. Yeah. And
okay.
Yeah.
Like if LeBron was there last year, Paul George might have went.
Yeah, you're right. I'm saying I just don't take that risk. If I get Kawhi now, I go get Kawhi now. I don't. You get the third on my ranking, third best player in the league. You go get him. You don't. If and or buts, competing with the greatest team of all time, you go and get him.
I will say with this, though, because it kind of goes along with what you were saying with Paul George, saying that he wanted to be in LA. I think it was a little bit different because, one, Paul George was saying it, not Kawhi's camp, because Kawhi is a chicken and won't say anything. I don't care if you're going to be upset in the comments because I'm saying that. If you're a man, come out and say it yourself. I'm sick of this, hiding behind your camp thing.
Don't be afraid
if you're going to go play in LA, one of the biggest markets and one of the historic franchises in the NBA, you need to put your actual name behind it and not say reports coming out of Kawhi Leonard's camp. Be a man and actually say what you want. That's why I'm calling him more of a snake than KD is. But really, with Kawhi, I think it's something where, again, it's something that it seems very adamant that it's Los Angeles, where Paul George was saying he'd like to be in LA. I think it was different scenarios where it seems very, very clear that Kawhi is only focused on LA. I know Chris Haynes tweeted something about he would possibly think about Philadelphia. But it feels very clear cut that he would want to go to LA no matter if he gets traded to a Philly.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree with you. Again, I don't think he made a mistake. I just think I can't say honestly. I can't say yet if he made a mistake or not. I think it depends who comes with him. Because if he's there with himself, with Lonzo and all them, I'm sorry, in the West, him, Lonzo, Kuzma, and Ingram this year is probably a 4 seed. They wouldn't beat the Lakers. They wouldn't beat the Rockets if they don't get anybody.
A 4 seed?
If they can go, I'm saying a 4 seed with LeBron. Yeah, LeBron.
Like
Lonzo,
that's as high as they'll be, or because I don't know about a 4 seed.
Yeah, I was saying that's where I think around where they would fall.
Okay.
5 seed. That's where I would think. And again, I could be completely wrong. They could go on the court. Ingram could be freaking Kevin Durant 2.0 if he just develops. I can't say, but looking at the roster and looking at what I saw last year, And I'm assuming that a couple of veterans are going to go over. I just read that Chris Bosh wants to become a Laker. Just throwing that one out there.
God.
Apparently he can play now. But again, I don't think he made a mistake. But I think going to Philly was a better option because I'm a Sixers fan. So I don't think he's going to win another ring. So I don't think he's going to shut up the people who think that Jordan's still a better player than him. But we'll see.
What do you think about Jake saying that he's not going to win
There's
another ring?
only one way he wins another ring in my mind, and I'm going to throw out something.
I mean, he's only 33.
Yeah,
he's going to get another contract. If
I am going to throw out something very crazy. Now, kind of stay with me here. So, the Kevin Durant signed a 1-1, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So,
not coming to the Lakers.
No. Imagine this. What if Durant this year wins another ring, signs another 1-1 or opts in with the Warriors, wins 2 rings back-to-back, then that third year of LeBron's contract, this text message that we heard, now that KD has more rings than LeBron, what if 2 years from now, KD goes, all right, I'll play with LeBron.
So you're saying
that's the only way LeBron wins another ring. Is
four straight years, and then in 2020, 2021, KD would go to the Lakers.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, again, this is very far ahead.
Yeah.
But
that's the only way I see it.
Is LeBron? So even if they get Kawhi and say a Boogie Cousins, they're not going to be competing.
They could compete, but for me, the thing is also the linchpin is I'm looking at Klay Thompson because for next year's free agency, I know that at the end of this season, he's like, I'm going to come back. I'm going to be a Warrior at the end. But let's be honest. It's easy to say that after your team just won a championship and you're all like high and you're feeling the high.
Do you think they're not going to win a championship this year too?
No, I'm not saying that, but it's easier to say it right after you won a championship. Mm-hmm. Let's see what happens at the end of the year, this year, when the big thing is everyone links him to LA because like his dad played for LA. He's got connections to LA. His brother plays for the Dodgers.
No, Trace isn't on the Dodgers anymore.
If I'm LeBron or used to play for the Dodgers, if LeBron wants to be the GM or the recruiter, can he sway a Klay Thompson away from the Warriors? If that happens, that hurts the Warriors and helps LeBron.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're looking ahead, but for this, I think we will move a little bit now to this season, just because again, we'll talk about going ahead. Jake, you still here, by the way?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Okay, cool. No, there's always a crinkling in our phone sometimes, and it went silent, which is good because it's gonna make the audio a little bit clearer. But you weren't. I was just making sure you're around and you didn't drop. But we'll move now towards this season and what's going to happen or what could happen. You said a 4th seed, Jake, and I think that's a little bit high, at least looking at this team right now. I get it's LeBron James, but he's also in the bloodbath of a Western Conference, and we saw LeBron with in my mind, a better team because you still had Kevin Love, you still had J.R. Smith, you still had Tristan Thompson, you still had Kyle Korver, you had these players on this team, even IT back and forth. Like they had players on this team that I think were better than this LA incarnation right now. This is before they sign, anybody else like DeMarcus Cousins or who else is out there or bringing Kawhi. So I don't know if 4 is going to be a really hot spot for him because clearly 1-2 is going to be Houston, Golden State. No matter which way you put them, those two are going to be the top of the Western Conference, and they're going to try to avoid LeBron like the plague. I mean, they don't want to face him first round at all because again he's going to be fresh. They want to face him, second round, third round, fourth round, or second or third round, not fourth round. They'd be doing that in the finals. But I don't know if they're going to be hitting 4th seed because if San Antonio still keeps Kawhi, I mean this was a team that was still good, and if Kawhi does suit up for him, they're able to repair it enough where he does play for him. San Antonio can be on the rise if they don't trade him to LA and he does end up playing for them this year. We look at, again, New Orleans. If they re-sign Boogie and he stays, I think that's a team that's going to have a lot of confidence. Drew Holiday found his mojo, and at the end of the season, Anthony Davis was an MVP, top 3 finisher. DeMarcus is a monster. This team was getting hot right when DeMarcus got injured. That could be a team that's going up. If Minnesota figures out all their troubles, maybe they're a team that starts to rise. I'm high on Denver. We look at Portland as well. This was a team that finished, in 3rd place, and if they keep that, team around of Nurkic, Dame, CJ, they still have the ability to finish there. If Carmelo Anthony finds a shot, we look at OKC possibly rising up there. I think there are better teams than this LA team, even though LeBron's on there. I'm not saying that LeBron's going to get bounced in the first round, but this is a team that I don't really have that much faith in right now. What gives you at least the idea, Jake, that they can be a 4th seed in the Western Conference?
Well, I think it's almost a little. Again, it sounds so bad and cliche, but I think it's just the LeBron James factor. I think they're a better team than OKC with LeBron. I think he elevates everybody that plays around him, and I also think they're going to bring in more players, probably a bunch of cheap veterans who are going to come in and help them win. And he's not a great coach, but guess what? Luke Walton is a hell of a lot better than Tyronn Lue. So maybe LeBron won't actually have to coach the entire team this year. I mean, and he doesn't have to GM the team either. I think, like you said, Houston and Golden State are 1 and 2. But, I mean, everybody else, you can't make a sure argument that anybody else is going to win more than, because the Thunder won 48 last year, Utah won 48 last year. I mean, I don't think the Lakers are going to win 50, but I think 45 to 50 would probably be the range I think they win. And
but even with that, 45, I mean, that's 45. I think at 45, they're out of the playoffs because you look at that Denver team, you look at Portland, 49 games, and then OKC, 48, Utah, 48, New Orleans, 48, San Antonio, 47, Minnesota, 47, Denver, 46. I mean, that was a bloodbath, and we're thinking that, LA is going to get better. We're thinking Dallas is going to get better with the signing of DeAndre Jordan. We think that these teams are going to be on the rise. Same with, again, Denver is a 46-win team. With having a healthy Paul Millsap, they should win more games. So, again, you're going to have to go up against these teams every single night. You're going to have to play Boston. You're going to have to play Philly. I don't see 50 wins for this team, even with LeBron. I mean, this was a team last year. Again, I think Cleveland was a better team last year, and they just got to 50, and they had LeBron, and he played 82 games, every single game for this team. He's going to have to do that again, and then he's going to have a better season next year to get them to a 50-win season.
I don't know. Jake might not be that crazy because, I mean, for me, the difference between 50 and what the Lakers were, the Lakers had 35 wins last year without LeBron. I think LeBron could be plus 15 for him. You get that, you're at 50. And I mean, for me, the thing that I look at is I know that the Cavs team was a little better. Yes, you had K-Love. The Lakers don't have anyone like K-Love, but we expect Brandon Ingram to get better in his third year. You expect Lonzo to get better, Kuzma to get better. I look at just last year, LeBron, the only teams I just got through from the T-Wolves down, the only teams from 8 down to beat LeBron, the Nuggets once, the Kings once, and the Clippers once. No other team below, Phoenix is going to be young. I'm giving them 2-3 years before I take them real serious.
That's fair.
Memphis is always injury-plagued. You've got
But
Dallas,
that's a team that still, when healthy, they can. A lot of veterans have it.
But will they be healthy? That's the question.
It's a big question.
Dallas is going to be interesting because, yes, Luka's almost like a veteran, kind of, because he was playing professional ball overseas. You get DeAndre Jordan, that's going to be a big help. The Kings, I don't know what to think of them this year. You always have hype for them, and then they're the Kings, and they always fall out.
If they had 30 wins, it would be a victory.
Like I said, they're going to be the first pick, and Jake's going to be dancing on the table because the 76ers get the first overall pick. Then you get the Clippers. They lost DeAndre Jordan. What are they going to be like next year? And then you've got the Nuggets who, yes, they are a better team. They just locked down Nico, but and then the T-Wolves where it's like, how are they going to be this year? So, I mean, there's so many questions in the West too because if the Lakers get DeMarcus Cousins, a lot of people are saying, well, he's not going to play game 1. Yeah, but if he comes
he had a
back,
6 to 8 week or 6 to 8 month. Injury.
But even if he comes back middle of the season, late in the season, you got LeBron to just carry the load, and you just kind of a LeBron team when it comes to injuries is, hey, get healthy. We need you for the playoffs. More important.
I'm not saying that LeBron can't carry this team. He's done it, so many times throughout his career. And I think this is more of a family move than it was a winning move. Yeah. And I'm not saying that the Lakers can't win in the next 4 years.
Or LA.
And I'm not saying that they can't win. Savannah is her name, by the way. And I'm not saying they can't win in the next 4 years. But right now, I think it's very unlikely. And I don't think I'm too crazy to say that they're not going to probably beat the Rockets, Warriors, or even the Celtics this upcoming year. Or hell, I'll even throw the 76ers for you, Jake. But with the Lakers, it's something where, again, it's going to take a while for that team to get good. And I don't know how good they will be this year. Because, yes, they got 35 wins last year, but 10 teams in the NBA were tanking. And the Lakers were technically one of them. So I don't really know. I mean, they weren't one of them, I'm sorry, because they didn't even have their pick. So I don't know what the idea for the Lakers should be, because if they add players like DeMarcus Cousins, it will make them better, without a doubt. If they add Kawhi, it will make them better and ready for this season. But I think 4 is just a lofty idea and expectation.
You already said the goal for this year, get Kawhi. I kind of agree with Jake. I'm not saying
I'm in the boat because I'm really high on Brandon Ingram. Maybe just wait a year because I don't think you're beating Golden State or Houston with Kawhi.
And part of me is because I can kind of see what Jake was saying with the whole comparing it to PG-13, where yes, we want to get Kawhi by the deadline, but now the Lakers, because they have LeBron, I think can sit back, not like sit back and not be aggressive, but sit back and go, this is our offer. And if the Spurs come back with something, nope, doesn't have this. And they can play hardball with the Spurs because they know the Spurs are up against that trade deadline wall, and they're not. Because
but then you're going to have them not until February because, they're not going to trade them until they get exactly what they want.
And
because they have one trade partner, I understand that they don't
even know, too, is if Kawhi is going to basically – I wouldn't be surprised if Kawhi said, no, you're trading me. I'm sitting out then. So I'm just going to stay at home. I'm injured.
No, I'm not saying that. But again, then he's not going to be in basketball shape. He's not going to be playing games.
Well, he could be working out on his own.
But again,
stuff.
It's different than actually playing NBA games and going through the season of traveling and everything. And even if he does that again, you're still not going to be able to build that chemistry. You're only building that chemistry from February till April. Jake, I understand we're going to try to talk about this year, and we know Kawhi's probably going to be coming in the next couple of years. I just feel that Los Angeles, they're rushing this timeline. And again, you'll do anything for LeBron, but we saw what that did for Cleveland. Yes, they got one title, but they kept getting bounced, and they now are up against a bad salary cap and are pretty much decimated after LeBron. Do you think that Los Angeles can still be in a good place when LeBron ends up leaving or retiring after his 4 years are up in LA, or at least his contract's up in LA?
I mean, it would depend, again, if they got Kawhi or Boogie or whatever. I think it also depends. The whole thing is, are they going to trade for Kawhi or are they going to wait a year? Because if they wait a year, then they can keep Lonzo, Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, and they'll have the experience of playing with LeBron and probably going to the finals and doing all that. But I think, has any place ever been really well off when LeBron left it?
Miami, I guess. They made the playoffs, fairly recently, like right after he left. So, I mean, they weren't totally decimated once he finally left.
Like contending wise, they've never. I don't think he's left it. Like the first time he left the Cavs, they were.
Yeah, the Cavs were one of the worst teams after he left, and then Miami didn't make the playoffs right after he left. And then I think they've made it. The next 3 straight years.
So, I mean, it just depends. If Kawhi comes, they'll be fine. If Kawhi gets traded somewhere else and signs a new contract there, they could be. I mean, it's just so. It's all speculation. I mean, Is it here? I'll give you more of a kind of sentiment thing.
If he does not win a championship in LA, whether if it's in this contract or another one he signs, is it a failure for LeBron James, or is it just based on his family? It's based on his future. It's just based on what he wants. It doesn't matter about his legacy. It just matters about if he's happy and he wants to be in this place.
No, I don't think it's a failure. I think, in my opinion, he's already the greatest player of all time. So no matter what he does from here on. He could have stayed in Cleveland and lost 6 more finals. I still would have said he's the greatest player of all time.
But if he's not even making to the finals in LA, would it be a failure then?
I think he's got to make 1 or 2. But again, I wouldn't say it's really a failure because I think I forgot who said this. I read it somewhere. I think basketball is kind of second on his mind now. I think he's getting in the later stage of his career. I mean, he's an injury away from being what Kobe was at the end of his career. I just think he's kind of thinking more family-wise than basketball-wise. I think he's like, I've done what I need to do. My legacy's cemented. People know who I am. I think I'm just going to go live out in L.A. where my family wants to live. My kid can go to high school. Then in 4 years, when his kid might be eligible for the NBA draft and he gets drafted by the Sixers, then LeBron will come to the Sixers. Bada bang, Miami unprotected pick, come to the Sixers.
I mean, I saw your head shaking, Ricky, and that was the one thing I was going to get to is that, again, 4 years, obviously Bronny can now go to LA for the next 4 years, and LeBron can be there. So I think that's one large part of him signing, but you were shaking your head that it would be a failure.
I agree and I disagree. Like, I agree with some of the things Jake was saying. I disagree with others. Like, I do agree that this was probably a move that was not just basketball-wise. One of the guys who's been saying it was Colin Cowherd, of like, he is thinking more of that Hollywood side. He's got homes in Hollywood. He's in LA already. So like that part I agree with, but the part I disagree with is you can't come to LA, be the greatest player in basketball right now, and not win a champion. If you don't win a championship, I would say it's a failure because the Lakers are Showtime. That's what the Lakers are. You're coming to a big market, and if you're not even making it to the finals, like, that's a failure. Now, the other part is I do agree that his legacy is cemented, and if he never wins another ring, it doesn't change anything. But the other side is, because he ain't the GOAT, Michael Jordan's the GOAT, that's why it's cemented. He's cemented as number 2, and going to the finals ain't going to change that, even if he wins one in L.A.
I'm not trying to get into the GOAT dispute between you two. But, again, I don't know if it – I think it's, again, more of a family move than it is right now because I don't think this team's competing for the next 2 years at least. And maybe we'll see what this team brings. But even if they bring just Kawhi, I don't think Kawhi is going to beat this Golden State team if they are able to keep all 4 around.
I want to throw one question to you, Jake. If you're the Lakers, would you be okay with trying to do this? Let's say in a deal for Kawhi, I'm thinking Kuzma and Lonzo a part of that deal.
The Spurs have come out. I don't want to say this because I know someone will come out and say it. The Spurs have said that they do not want Lonzo.
Okay. Let's just say in the deal things change and the Lakers get rid of Lonzo to get Kawhi. If you're the Lakers, would you, or a Laker fan, how would you feel about getting Kawhi and then this next offseason making a push to get Kemba Walker and having Kemba, LeBron, and Kawhi in L.A.?
Oh, I would rather go after Klay Thompson than Kemba Walker if he's available. I think Kemba Walker is really interesting because I think he could be a fit there. I think he'd be amazing if they want to counter Steph Curry and Chris Paul. I think he's never been on a good team, and he's always put up numbers, so again, it'd be interesting to see. I think what would be really interesting is I know that we were talking about it yesterday, Sean. The Trailblazers seem to be in a little bit of turmoil, and you might need a 2-guard to go to stand out there, play defense, and shoot threes. CJ McCollum, you just want to throw some random trade at him. I mean, Brandon Ingram for CJ McCollum and a pick.
Oh, God, I wouldn't do that.
You wouldn't do – okay, so
no.
if you trade –
I'd rather have Brandon Ingram.
Listen, tinfoil hat right here. Lonzo and Kuzma and picks for Kawhi or Lonzo or whatever. Then you go out and get CJ McCollum, just have LeBron run point guard, boom, NBA championship.
So you would throw out there CJ, Kawhi, and LeBron as your big 3?
Yeah.
I would still take Steph, KD, Klay, and Dre, though. That's the thing, isn't it? And then you're also depleting the depth on this Laker team.
Let's be honest, though. Then, I'm looking at cheap point guards you can get in the free agency.
Oil, baby.
You could try to make a cheaper deal at Ricky Rubio. Jeremy Lin would be available.
But that does not make them better than the Warriors.
Patrick
this is what
Beverly,
it's all about.
who's a defensive guy, could be at the point.
But you're not going to get better than the Warriors. I'm sorry.
Well, then
what is the greatest team of all time?
Then what are we doing here?
Getting better than.
Then what are we doing here?
Waiting for Kevin Durant to get bored and leave.
You're waiting for Curry to snap his ankle. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
He's injured this thing 4 times. I hope not too. He's one of my favorite players ever. But he's going to get hurt eventually. It's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna get hurt.
It's just something where and maybe the Rockets do take him down this year, but even then, I don't think the Lakers right now can beat the Rockets. But we're gonna wrap this up. Jake, give us your final thoughts on LeBron to the Lakers. I mean, it is crazy, having this happen again.
I want to send out a petition. If you are a Lakers fan, you must, and you want to support them, you must say LeBron James is better than Kobe Bryant. Okay. That's all I got.
Why is that? It's just as a player, though, right?
Because over the last 10 years, I've just heard Kobe's better than LeBron. Kobe hasn't passed LeBron. Kobe will always be better than LeBron. Not talking in Laker terms, just GOAT status terms. If you want to support the Lakers, you just got to say that LeBron's better than Kobe. That's a fair trade-off.
Final thoughts, Ricky?
The only thing that I was thinking is because you brought up the Rockets is how funny it is how they just fell out completely. Like at the beginning, it was, oh my God, he's going to go to Houston, then they can rival the Warriors, and now it's like, they lose LeBron. Trevor Ariza going to Phoenix? What was with that? Like,
got $15 million.
I looked at that and went, I thought you were going to go to Golden State. I thought you were going to win a championship. What are you going to play with the young guys for?
He's going to go get $15 million.
And now they might lose Clint Capella too. So it's like,
they're building a plane out there.
Geez, not only did they lose out on LeBron, they might lose Capella and Trevor Ariza too.
It's absolutely insane. My face is like dry as hell right now, so I really want to end this segment. I was an idiot. I said LeBron wasn't going to the Lakers. I was wrong. Laker fans, obviously, this season hasn't started, so I don't know what's going to happen. I have my doubts on what this Laker team could do, but obviously there is still 4 seasons of LeBron in LA, so congrats on getting that win, the biggest free agent signing in LA since Shaquille O'Neal. Possibly, some would argue, possibly the biggest free agent signing for the Lakers in the history. I would still say LeBron going to Miami is the biggest free agent signing, but of all time. But this is probably second.
This might rival Shaq.
I think it probably beat Shaq because
Shaq won championships.
Yeah, but let's look at where they were in their careers at the time. I mean, Shaq was, in his 4th, 5th year in the NBA? I mean, LeBron James is one of the best players of all time going to the Lakers right now.
And I think they both were coming off of finals losses. Because I think that was the year the Magic...
No, Nick Anderson choked. Wasn't it Nick Anderson?
Yeah, wasn't it? Or I know one of the Rockets' ones was against the Magic.
Then maybe. I'm not sure. You'll have to check that out. But
it might have been.
Anyways, let us know your thoughts on LeBron James to Lakers down in the comments below. We want to thank Jake for being on. If you want to be like Jake, check out patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast.
It was not because they played the Bulls and lost to them.
That's what I was thinking.
It was the 96. Yeah. It was the Jordan year because Jordan got pissed because they beat him in 95 and was like, 45 is nothing like 23. And then Jordan did what Jordan does best.
Let us know down in the comments down below what you think about LeBron going to LA. Thanks again, Jake. And if you want to be like Jake, check out patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast.